Ready, ready. Talk that boxing. Mr. A right here on Double RT Boxing. Post fight recap between Andrew Tabiti and Steve Cunningham for that NABF title. And Andrew Tabiti is still the NABF champion. The light heavyweight NABF champion. Now this fight, I passed a lot of this Mayweather Promotions fight. I had to rewatch a lot of these fights. That's one reason why these videos are taking a while. I went out of town to watch these fights. I went to a little fight party. That's why I left a quick little niblet for all my boxing fans, because I know how it is when it's fight day and you need something to watch. I was on there just scratching at anything as a boxing fan, looking for anything to watch and listen to before the fight. So I left a nice little Mr.A's thoughts of just random things for like 10 minutes. So I appreciate you guys who did watch that. But yeah, that's why, for the few who do support this channel, thank you. And if you're wondering, hey, where's Mr.A's videos? I was out of town. I stayed where I was for a couple days. And I had to rewatch some of these fights, man, because it was I went to a UFC fight party. So that was real interesting to see these fights in a UFC fight party. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys went to boxing fight parties, and there were some few UFC parties. But if you're watching this channel, most likely you probably more at a boxing fight party. I'm taking a guess. I could be wrong. You know. But anyway, enough of rambling about that. So this was one of the fights I had to rewatch a few times, because just every time I try to rewatch it, people were just coming into the house. So I finally was able to rewatch the whole card and watch the fights. And this fight wasn't as competitive as I thought it was when I was watching it and gathering some parts at the party, the fight party. You know, when I kept watching the screen and then getting little pieces of it, it looked like Cunningham was doing his thing. You know, he was throwing some power shots, making Tabiti move. Like, oh man, I gotta really watch this fight, because it looked like Tabiti might be getting taken to. But watching it, Cunningham had the harder shots maybe, but he wasn't doing nothing with them. Tabiti definitely wasn't sticking around long enough to find out if he could do anything with the power. Because in round one, Tabiti came out using the little angles. He was jabbing him up and down the body. But when he was doing that, Steve was just kind of being patient, just walking him around. Steve looked big as hell in that ring. You know, I know they're both like heavyweights. Or they cruiserweights or heavyweights? I think they're cruiserweights. They just looked humongous. I'm like, man, Tabiti looks small. What is Tabiti? Is he a heavyweight or cruiserweight? I thought Tabiti was a cruiserweight. What exactly? I'm taking a few times. But anyway, you know, Tabiti, like he was throwing, like I noticed in round two, because round one was kind of a filled out round. He was trying to pace some stuff around, and I noticed that in round two he was trying to do a 3-piece combo, and Steve just threw one quick punch like right in between that, and that just stopped it. That just stopped any type of pity pat combinations that Tabiti had, and that's what I started noticing. Like, oh man, Andrew's not quite who I thought he was. I forgot what subscriber it was. Like I said, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. But if you watch this video, you probably know who you are. He asked me a question. He was like, I don't know, man. I think they might be pushing Andrew a little too fast. And I told him, like, nah, if they are who he thinks he is, Steve Cunningham. He said Steve Cunningham might be the wrong fight for him. Sorry if I forgot who you are, but thank you for talking boxing with me. Appreciate it. Watch all my other videos, And I told him like, nah, I think this is the right opponent. If they think he is who he is, he has to get past this gatekeeper. And I see what he was talking about. I didn't think Tabiti was going to have that hard of a time with Cunningham. Andrew was able to keep him off with speed, rapid combinations, move around the ring. But when Cunningham was able to just throw right with his little pity pat combinations, whatever Andrew thought he was doing, Steve stopped it all with one punch and said, what the hell you gonna do? And Andrew had to get on his bike, move around the ring, reset himself. It wasn't until like the round 6, maybe 7 is when Andrew really started to sit down on his punches and throw a little more. Towards the end of the late rounds is when Andrew really started sitting down and throwing on his punches. And the only punches he really sat down on was the stomach stab jab. Anything else he really didn't sit down and throw it on. I only had Steve winning round 4 and 5. And that's mainly when those are the rounds that really like when he really Tabiti tried to do something. Cunningham just ended that with any one shot he wanted. He'd throw right between his shots and just end it. But overall, I say first 4 rounds was a lot of pity pat shots. Tabiti won them because of activity. It wasn't nothing powerfully thrown. Cunningham won 4 and 5 because he was able to punch in between Tabiti's combinations. You saw his shots were more powerful. You saw Tabiti's game plan change. He went from trying to move with pity pat combinations to he went to back foot and wasn't going for like the movement with the pity pat combination. It was back foot. I gotta survive this dude because he hit me pretty good and he's feeling confident. And all that changed like in round 7 to 8. Tabiti went back on his thing. He started sitting on his punches. Started stabbing him a little more in the stomach. But he never once that I feel he did anything to really wobble Cunningham. And I thought going into this fight, I didn't do a video on it, but I thought going into this fight, I thought he would definitely have the power and a strong, stiff jab to break through and maybe put Cunningham on the ground early. Because Glowacki, even though Cunningham was coming strong on Glowacki was able to have Cunningham looking kind of vulnerable at moments in the fight. And never once in this fight did Tabiti give me the feeling that Cunningham is a gatekeeper. Never once did I get that feeling like, oh yeah, Cunningham is washed up and he only needs to fight prospects now, earn little small paychecks. To me, if Cunningham has that little more energy of just a mentality of get it done, I think he could have went out there and knocked Tabiti out. I just don't know if Cunningham has that mentality in the boxing game anymore. He has the physique. He's in shape. I think he still has a decent punching power. I just don't think he has the mind state to turn it on, to flip that switch anymore. That's my fight post cap. Andrew Tabiti get a unanimous decision, 10-rounder over Steve Cunningham, and remains the NABF. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna look up. Is he a cruiserweight or? Oh, dude, this whole time I thought this was a cruiserweight fight. Let me look this up real fast, folks. Andrew Tabiti. Well, he's still NABA champ. Thank you guys for listening. This is RRT Boxing. This is Mr. A. Please subscribe if you haven't. If you have subscribed, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. But how about we give some thumbs up if you're not a thumbs up guy, but those who have been giving me thumbs up, thank you. Thank you for all that. All right, I'm trying to kill. Yes, he is a cruiserweight. Okay, I thought so. For those who did know, and you're like, hey, he's a cruiserweight jackass. Thank you for calling me that and knowing. There's an NABF and USBA cruiserweight titleist, Andrew Tabiti. All right, there it is. Thank you guys for your support. Andrew Tabiti is the new, still NABF and now the USBA cruiserweight titleist, Andrew Tabiti. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys so much. And as I was saying, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and thumbs up the videos. Leave a comment. Any boxing question you want. I like talking boxing. I answer